Tonight, the focus of the festival is on the floor of Pauley Pavilion. The women hold the spotlight in a competition that might be called I Was a Teenage Gymnast. Here, above all, the focus is on the young, and 14-year-old Molly Shawn could be the youngest with the mostest. She's already a three-time festival medalist, having won 2 golds and a silver last year in Minneapolis. But she'll be challenged by, pardon the expression, younger opponents. We'll also return to the track to wrap up the day in athletics. ESPN presents the 1991 U.S. Olympic Festival. Night settles into the city of Los Angeles, California, the city that provides the background for the 12th renewal of the U.S. Olympic Festival. And tonight, the focus of attention is on the campus of UCLA, at the track, Drake Stadium, and at Pauley Pavilion, the home of the UCLA Bruins, but tonight, the home of women's gymnastics. Hello again, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins. We welcome you to the 7th day of competition in this U.S. Olympic Festival. On the menu tonight, as we mentioned, track and field. We have had an American record. We'll tell you about that. And the sport of gymnastics, featuring the women's all-around. Joining us, as always, Charlene Hawks. Let's talk a little bit about the sport of gymnastics. Wendy Bruce was supposed to have been the big name here. She withdrew because of injury, and boy, did that open up the field.
It certainly did. Now we have to take a look at Shelly Stack, almost 18 years old, but boy, does she have a lot of experience. 5 years on the senior national team. She's the only active member of the '88 Olympic team. She's gone through a lot of changes, as you might expect. In fact, she said, and I quote, "I'm more mature now, and I need a more mature way of working out," which is one of the ways that she has explained why she left Bella Caroli, and now she is with Debbie Kitechuk of Houston as well. And Debbie has convinced her that not only is she not too old to continue competing, but that she hasn't even reached her peak yet. So Shelly is very motivated at the thought of being a 2-time Olympian.
It's going to be a major test, too, for her tonight. This is a major competition, a springboard, if you will, both literally and figuratively, for these women in the sport of gymnastics.
All right, Drew, thank you. We welcome you back to Pauley Pavilion, site of gymnastics here on the campus of UCLA in Westwood. Tonight, it is the women's all-around competition. Good evening, everyone. I am Tim Brando. Perhaps the biggest news at this venue is who you will not see competing. Wendy Bruce will not take part. She ranks 5th nationally, but she had an injury to her foot a couple of days ago, so she cannot compete. We took time to ask her about it.
They said that I might have torn my fascia that holds my tendons in place, and they said it wouldn't take that long for me to heal, so for World Trials, I hope I'll be really strong, and with the injury, I'll be able to work my upper body more, so I think I'll be 100%.
The good news for Wendy is that the World Trials don't come up until the latter part of August, so she has ample time to prepare herself for that. Kathy Johnson is by my side, past Olympic silver and bronze medalist. With Wendy out of the mix, who do we look for?
Well, there's really 5 or 6 gymnasts that are in the running for the top 3 spots. One to watch, one of our favorites, is Shelly Engel. She trains at Scats in Huntington Beach, so she has the advantage of competing at home. She's pretty new to competition, though. Besides the U.S. Championships, this is her big competition of the year, so she's a little unproven. So those other gymnasts in the running, it's going to be who's the most consistent here.
You know, when you start talking about women's gymnastics, and I turn to Bart Connor now. Bart, we are really talking about a different type of game. Sometimes you peak out by the time you're 18 years of age. Tonight, you want to focus on a 15-year-old that perhaps has her best gymnastics in front of her, and an 18-year-old and past Olympian that may have seen her best gymnastics to this point.
That's right, and the two that we're talking about are Molly Shawn, who's 15 years old. She was second in the all-around last year in this event to Brandy Johnson. And Shelly Stack, she's 18 years old. She was an '88 Olympian, and she's a really feisty performer. She's a lot of fun to watch, and if she's on, she'll certainly be one of our big challengers today as well.
It is always outstanding to watch the women's all-around competition. We look forward to it later tonight. For Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor, Tim Brando saying we'll see you soon. Back to Barry Tompkins.
All right, thanks very much, Tim and Bart and Kathy. Interesting conversation I had with Bart just a few minutes ago, and Bart was saying that there's a lot of people who you never heard of here, but I tell you, they do impossible stunts on the gymnastics floor. So look for some really out there kinds of performances today. Everybody's going to be taking chances because everybody wants to make their name known. When we come back, we'll get started, so don't go away. We're with you for an hour. The 1991 U.S. Olympic Festival is sponsored by Michelob Light. It's always smooth, never filling, so why settle for anything less? By Isuzu. For features, styling, and price, there's no comparison. By Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it. And by Nuprin, standard equipment of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team.
We welcome you back to the gymnastics venue, brought to you by Nuprin here at Pauley Pavilion on the campus of UCLA in Westwood. Tim Brando along with Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor. In the first rotation, you are looking at Jennifer Mercer performing for the North team in floor exercise, 17 years young. She'll be a senior this fall at Allentown Central High School in Pennsylvania.
Jennifer is one of the 5 or 6 gymnasts I said in the opening that I think is somebody we want to watch in this competition. She's a good all-around gymnast. She opens with a full twisting double back in pike position. Very nicely done. Jennifer trains at the Parkettes with Bill and Donna Strauss. Whip back through to a tuck double back. Again, very nice landing, something the judges are looking for, as well as the level of difficulty.
So far, a rather error-free routine, Kathy.
It's one of the requirements on the floor exercise. A leap series, 3 leaps in a row. She's setting up for her final tumbling run. So far, this is a nice start for Jennifer. And a tuck double back. Little low on the landing, but she pulled it around and came out with another good landing.
You could say she's out to a very good start. 5 feet tall, weighing just 98 pounds, 17 years of age, Jennifer Mercer.
That'll surprise people. That's one of the taller gymnasts now.
Yeah, it really is.
Just 5 feet tall.
And at this U.S. Olympic Festival, one of the heavier gymnasts we've seen.
Jennifer had some success this year internationally in the Champions All in Great Britain. She took 4th in the all-around, much of it because of her strong tumbling. This move is a full in to a pike back. Well done.
You're right, and Bart, in Birmingham, in Great Britain, she finished first on the uneven bars.
On her final tumbling run, which was a tuck double back, she has strong lift, good rotation, and a solid body position on the landing.
Jennifer waiting on her marks. There you see it, 9.60 for Jennifer Mercer with the North team. Out to a very good start. On to Shelley Engel at the vault, 14 years of age, from Fountain Valley, California, now makes her home in Huntington Beach. It's a big, big event for her. And as you mentioned at the outset, Kathy, this is the biggest competition of the year for Shelley.
Certainly is. Her coach, Don Peters, decided to try something a little new. He thought that the gymnast started competing too soon, so he held her out for a few years, just trained her, and she's just started competing this past year. This is Yurchenko vault, laid out with a full twist. Very nicely done. You can see she had a little form deduction in the middle of the vault. Her toes weren't quite pointed. But what's really nice about this vault is the flare position after the twist.
But a pretty good first vault, because now, of course, in women's gymnastics, for the benefit of those of you that were with us last night, they do have the 2 vault opportunities.
With the best score counting. You can see right here what I was talking about. It's nice lift off. Her legs were a little separated and toes not quite pointed, but a nice landing.
Pretty impressive vault for a young lady who's only 4 feet 6. That's about as high as the pommel horse.
Only 70 pounds.
Nicely done. An even better landing. The only deduction there are the legs slightly apart. that I'm sure we'll see in the replay, and toes, again, not quite pointed all the way.
One of the nice things about this vault is that she really does pop off the horse, and she keeps her body position in the air very straight. You'll see that her legs do separate. That will be a small deduction. But notice she really works on keeping her body line arched out and a strong chest-up position on the landing. Well done.
So a couple of the favorites in tonight's all-around competition have fared rather well here at the outset. Jennifer Mercer in the floor X and Shelley Ingle on vault. We will await the score for Shelley. She has an interesting hobby. She collects turtles.
She has 12 of them. Yeah. I want to know where she keeps them and what her mother thinks about that.
Oh, she needs a couple of more for the years
right
of life she's had. She has 12 turtles, and she's only 14. And there it is, a 9.80 for Shelley Ingle. Completed one rotation here at Gymnastics at Pauley Pavilion. Tim Brando, Kathy Johnson, Bart Connor, Shelley Ingle, your leader after one rotation. Shelley Stack in second, Denise Fierro in third. Larissa Fontaine and Jennifer Mercer all are up there. You're looking at Molly Shawn, who at 14 years of age has really grown a lot physically in the last year or so, coached by Gary Warren at Queen City Gymnastics. From Edgewood, Kentucky, she is on the uneven bars.
Molly is beautiful on this event. She swings so easily and so effortlessly, showing extreme amplitude on every skill. Nice front giant work. Nice high Ginger. Ooh, a little trouble on the glide. On the low bar. Full pirouette, a little off center there, right into a double twist flyaway. Nice variety of different types of skills throughout the routine, but she had a couple problems in there.
You know, that one major mistake that you noticed is something that, that's size. I mean, you have to get used to the height factor, and she has grown a great deal in height in the last year or so. She's
certainly grown in height, but she seems to be handling it. But as you said, on bars, that low bar doesn't get any higher.
And as you mentioned, Kathy, her style is so clean and her form is so good, but when she drags her feet on the floor like that, that should be probably 0.3 of a point deduction. But once again, notice how her pirouettes are clean. And look at the excellent form in that double twist in the laid out position. Great style.
Molly Shawn, whose mother is a dancer and at one time instructed Molly. She would like to become a physical therapist or a lawyer someday. Previously trained away from her home at Kentucky's Browns Gymnastics.
Actually down in Florida.
Actually in Florida, that's right.
And then she moved back home to Cincinnati, and she's now there at Queen City's Gymnastics, coached by Gary Warren.
Waiting for her score. Molly had a 9.55 on the vault, and there's a 9.55 on the uneven bars. She has some ground to make up in the time that follows. Shelley Ingle, also performing for the West team on the uneven bars, will have her chance. Here she is.
Shelley is very dynamic on this event, very aggressive. Front giant, right into, oh, a pike front somersault. Just a little too far from the bar.
Oh, what a shame. She was so high. It looked great.
Now to regroup.
I've really never seen her miss that skill. Quite unusual. She has a very difficult dismount right here. Full twisting double back. Very nicely done.
A tough break, really, for Shelley.
It's really too bad. She's had tremendous success in competition, though she just started competing this past year.
Let's see if we can see what happened here. She really is very, very aggressive, and that's impressive. There's the move. She's going to do a giant swing. This is what's called a Jaeger. It's a front flip. She's just a little too far out. Luckily, she's okay. She regrouped. And once again, look at the aggressive style and speed as she does a full twisting double back dismount.
Not easy to make a comeback and perform as cleanly as she did after you've missed the bar that way. A senior team member for just a year. One of the reasons why the women's gymnastics has been so bright for so long is that the Shelley Ingles continue to come along. year in and year out, we see that at this U.S. Olympic Festival.
She's coached, of course, by Don Peters, who has produced so many great gymnasts for the U.S. program, and some outstanding uneven bars workers in particular. Remember Marcia Frederick back about 13 years ago?
There you see her mark, 9.10 on the uneven bars. Shelley Stack, a 17-year-old from Birmingham, Alabama. Senior at Westfield High School that now makes her home in Houston, Texas. Second after the first rotation.
This should probably be the make or break routine for Shelley in this competition.
We were talking to her the other day in practice. She has, in her career, she has changed gyms 8 times. 3 stints with Bella Caroli down there in Houston, just down the block from the Cypress Academy where she trains in gymnastics now.
That's like a quarterback with a bad football team that keeps getting new coaches. That's like an Archie Manning story in New Orleans. But you know, you have to improve, and sometimes you get a new coach in gymnastics, really an individual sport. You find that coach at the right time to help one aspect of your game, really.
Well, she's coached now by Debbie Kachuk. And I know they've really been working hard on the positions on balance beam, on the dance elements. Her acrobatic series, 2 back handsprings to a pike back somersault. Nice aggressive start for Shelley. Back tuck, kick out, go straddle down.
Well, she's taking plenty of time here.
This is a rather long way to front tuck somersault. Right into a back tuck.
Well, worth the wait. She got it done. She can't wait for bars and Florex. Those are her favorite pieces of apparatus.
Here comes her dismount. Double back.
Yes.
Good landing, just pulled it around.
Shelley Stack. You talked about this one being pivotal. It may put her in position for the ladder rotation.
She really did a great job at holding it together in that routine. This is one of the best passes of the routine. Back handspring to a piked backflip. Well done.
Kathy is a 4-year senior team member and past Olympian. She's got a lot riding on this performance here at the U.S. Olympic Festival, doesn't she?
I think this is a great opportunity for her to have a nice success leading up to the World Championship trials in August.
Stick it and build for the future. She just did on the beam. Shelley Stack.
We said that she left Bella Caroli's 3 times. She has her own version of how she should train, and that doesn't go over in the Bella Caroli training camp. So maybe that explains a little bit why she's been in and out of 8 gymnastics programs over the last few years. She's really a feisty young lady and a great gymnast, but she has her own ideas about how she should prepare.
Yeah, well, if Bella were here, and I know he's not, that 9.65, he would say, "Oh, Shelley, that was a good one." Stay with us. We'll be back with more. We're at Pauley Pavilion, where we have now come to the final rotation. After 3 rotations, Shelley Engel has moved back into first place. Suzanne Metz forges into second. Denise Fierro hanging around in third. And we pick up Denise third after 3 rotations on the uneven bars.
This is Denise's best event. Nice opening section. Sets up for her big swing. Giant swing with a full pirouette. Straddle back right to a handstand. Nice position. She's coached by Steve and Beth Rybacki, and it was Beth Klein back in 1980 when she was a teammate of mine on the 80 Olympic team. And a tuck double back dismount. Nice routine for her.
She's a powerful gymnast. She really is.
She doesn't have the big release moves that some of the top gymnasts have. But what she did very well.
She showed good power in the giant swing here. Excellent form. Strong speed over the top. And the tuck double back is high and clean. No problem.
She would have to be considered somewhat of a surprise story in as much as there are some favorites. Shelley Stack, who blew out in her floor X back in the third rotation. So she is in a position to gain some great advantages in the final rotation.
Certainly took advantage of some of the top gymnasts making mistakes, and she's just been steady throughout.
Only 15 years of age, making her home in Covina, California. And Suzanne Metz, in her floor exercise back in the third rotation, scored a 9.625 to put herself in position, Kathy.
This was her first tumbling pass. And as you said, she did an excellent floor routine. It was front tuck through to a pike double back. Notice the great landing. And all her landings were just like that throughout the routine.
So Suzanne, 18 years of age. Senior at Carl Springs High School. Second after the third rotation. Fierro, by the way, a 9.75 on the uneven bars. Suzanne gets 2 vaults.
Handspring front vault, step on the landing. But overall, very nice vault. She's coached by Tim Rand and trains with the American Twisters.
The most difficult aspect of this vault is you'll notice that the landing is blind. Now what I mean by that is she's going to do handspring front. She doesn't see the floor until right when her feet are on it right there. She sees the floor, so it's very difficult to plan for the exact amount of rotation to stick that landing. She'll hopefully open up just a hair sooner on the next one and maybe stick it.
Like so many others, she enjoys choreographing her own floor and beam routines. Maintained a 3.4 GPA in high school and was on the honor roll. From Margate, Florida.
This vault is worth a 9.9 in the code of points for its level of difficulty. Oh, looked like it was going to be a better vault. She opened up sooner so she could try and stick the landing, but unfortunately was a little short this time and had to step back.
So,
as you mentioned, Kathy, she underjudged this one a little bit. She had good power, good heel drive, and she opened up just a hair early that time. The first one, she opened up a hair late, and that one just a hair early.
isn't it amazing, though? Shelley Engel, who fell on the uneven bars, could win it on floor X when we come back. Welcome back. Suzanne Metz, by the way, got a 9.60 on the vault. You're looking at Shelley Engel in what could be her coronation routine to take the gold, Kathy.
She opened with a full twisting double back, very nicely done. Most importantly about Shelley, after having that fall on the uneven bars, she came back so strong on beam. Excellent performance, scored 9.875.
She really got some help when Shelley Stack blew out her routine in the floor exercise in the third rotation.
Shelley is very entertaining on this event. It's her middle pass, whip back, all the way through to a tuck double back.
Looks like she is on her way. She's in first after the third rotation.
And doesn't she look a lot like our current national champion, Kim Zmeskal?
She sure does, Bart. I've said that since I first saw her. She really looks like she has fun here, too.
Something about those ponytails.
Last tumbling pass, tuck double back. I think she's done it.
Yeah, she has.
And what a place to do it, her hometown. Very nice routine.
Shelley Engel, a gold medal performance at the 1991 U.S. Olympic Festival.
This tumbling run was actually very well done. She generates a lot of speed as she rips across that mat. twists the first flip and pulls the second one around. That was the most critical part of the routine, and she handled it beautifully.
It was a fait accompli, and there it is. A 9.75 for Shelly Engel. She wins the gold medal. In fact, it's a California gold rush. Denise Fierro winds up with a silver for Kathy Johnson and Bart Connor. Tim Brando saying all is well here at Gymnastics, Barry.
All is well for Shelly Engel. All is not so well for Shelley Stack, who finished 6th, and Molly Schoen, whom we spoke of at the beginning of the show, who finished 16th. Back with a final word after this.